So this last part we will see today, okay? Mental element in law of torts.
Yes, ma'am.
You have studied IPC already?
No, ma'am, not completely.
Not completely. Okay. So mental element, right? When we talk about mental element, it's very much relevant in case of criminal laws. Okay, but what is the status of mental element in case of law of torts that we need to consider? Whether mental element is relevant or not in case of law of torts. We will see that.
So this is that mens rea something.
Yeah, mens rea we get in case of IPC. Right, mens rea is very much needed for it to be considered as a crime. For most of the crimes, mens rea is needed, right? Guilty intention, guilty mind, guilty act, all those things are needed. So something similar we have in case of law of torts also. So tortious liability may arise if a person causes any injury related to the victim's life, property, reputation, etc. Some injury is being caused. It might be that you have suffered some loss in terms of your life, property, reputation, or simply your legal right is being affected, even though you don't have anything as such to show or prove before the court. Even that is considered in case of torts. So that is nothing but tortious liability. A person is made liable under law of torts. And this liability is civil in nature. In law of torts, the liability can be incurred regardless of whether injury was inflicted intentionally or by accident. How did the thing actually happen? That does not matter in case of torts that much. But what matters is violation of legal right. Like last class, we were discussing elements of tort, right? What are the three elements that we need to satisfy?
Those are act or emission, legal damage, and legal remedy.
Legal remedy, correct. So we did not mention anything about intention part because intention is not that much relevant in case of tort. What is relevant is legal damage and legal remedy should be there. That is enough. If your legal right is being violated, you are entitled to get compensation. Does not matter whether you have actually suffered some loss that you can prove before the court or not.
Okay.
So regardless of, so in tort, what happens? Regardless of whether victim injury was inflicted intentionally or by accident, it does not matter whether it was all planned and after that it was executed or it just suddenly happened as a result of accident. That does not matter. Okay, when you study unit 5, you will see, okay, there is a, in unit 5 of law of torts, you will see there is a concept called in Motor Vehicles Act, right? There is a concept called like no fault liability. Okay, liability without fault in certain cases. That means it does not matter whether you had the intention, you were not having any intention, does not matter. Like sometimes in movies and all we see, right? People would plan that, okay, I want to kill this person, so I will commit this accident intentionally. It was all, it might be planned or it might be an accident, does not matter what is the case, but there are some grounds. If a person dies or suffers from like permanent disablement, some fixed amount of compensation is paid under this act. Okay, so that is also something which is very important. That does not matter whose fault it was. It might be that I was walking on the road very carelessly, talking on the phone. Even in such a case, if it happens that I die or I suffer from permanent disablement, I will be entitled to compensation. Even though it was my fault, even then, the driver was not at fault. He was driving properly, carefully. Even then, he is made to pay compensation. Okay, because in torts, what matters is a person has suffered. That matters more. Intention and other things does not matter because what is the main purpose? In tort, we want to compensate, we want to reduce the harm, right? Does not matter whose fault it was. If I happen to suffer permanent disablement, I will suffer a lot for that, right? So law tries to provide me some compensation for some kind of a relief. Okay, so it's very much different in case of civil versus criminal. In case of criminal, we see, okay, was it that the person was having bad intention? If he was having bad intention, we try to punish him so that he realizes his mistake, he do not commit something similar in future, all that thing comes. But it's very much different in case of torts. Okay.
Madam, if murder happens in the name of accident, then how, and they'll get to know that it is murder, not accident. Then how is it is
no,
solved?
in such a case, you can file a criminal case. If you know that it is a murder and it's not an accident, in such a case, you can file a criminal case and you can punish the person.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So unlike tort, the presence of mens rea is pertinent in criminal law. But in case of criminal law, mens rea is very much needed. Whether the person was having bad intention, mens rea as in guilty intention, guilty mind, with guilty mind he did it or not, that is very much important, but it's not that much relevant in case of tort. In law of tort, its existence depends upon circumstances and facts of each case. It depends on what is the crime or, like what is the wrong being committed. In some rare cases, it might be relevant. Otherwise, mostly it is not relevant in case of tort. So we need to see or look at the circumstances or facts of each specific case. It may or may not be essential to prove a malified intent to fix liability upon the tortfeasor. Sometimes it might be required that you need to prove that no, whatever this person did, he did it with a bad intention. He did this intentionally to cause me harm. But in most of the other cases, it's not needed at all. The wrong has happened, you have suffered loss, court is going to pay you compensation. That is what happens over there. Okay. Is this part clear or any doubts you have?
Oh, clear, ma'am, this much.
Now, on the basis of intention, when we talk about intention, whether intention is relevant, not relevant, how is it? On the basis of intention, we can divide torts into two classifications, intentional tort and unintentional tort. Now, what is intentional tort? Intentional is wherein intention becomes somewhat relevant. Unintentional as in intention is not relevant. Wrong has happened, you are going to suffer for that. Like you will be held liable for that. What is intentional tort? It is a type of tort that can result only from the intentional act of the wrongdoer. It should happen that I was having the bad intention. Otherwise, it does not matter. Okay, like there is, when you read Unit 4, you will get all these different types of torts as well. There you would understand it in a better way. But for now, common intentional torts are battery. Battery is nothing but intentional application of force to another person without any lawful justification. Maybe pushing a person, slapping a person, all that, right? You are using force, which is not justified. That is battery. Assault is reasonable apprehension of infliction of battery. You have not touched the person, but there is an apprehension, like saying that, okay, I'll slap you. When you make that posture, there is an apprehension that you might slap at any moment, right? That is called as assault. When you are about to touch a person, hit a person, or use force, that is assault. Okay. False imprisonment, wrongfully confining a person, right, without any valid justification, or intentional infliction of mental distress. Intentionally, you are saying something which is like very much disturbing for the other person. Like yesterday, we were discussing this case, right? A man cracks a joke in front of someone's wife. Your husband has met with an accident. That is nothing
Yeah.
emotional distress only, and you are intentionally doing it just to like just for the sake of doing it without any justification. All these are something where intention becomes relevant. That why did you even crack that joke? Is it that you actually saw someone, you thought that this is her husband, or was it just a joke that you wanted to crack? Right? Their intention becomes relevant. Same ways when we talk about assault or battery, right? In case of assault, if I am to give you an example, it's that there is an apprehension that this person might inflict harm or cause some loss at any moment. Okay, like there was an incident that happened. Okay, there is something which that Sikh people would carry. Have you seen this carrying?
Yeah.
Sikh
Yes,
people
ma'am.
would
Yes, ma'am.
carry this, right? So when I was in school, right, I was not knowing this fact that they carry this as a part of their tradition or something. Okay, so we went to Golden Temple, and there was a lady who came to us, and she was talking very nicely to the entire family. And suddenly I saw she was carrying something like this. And I got so scared. I thought that might be she is some criminal or someone. She is going to cause some harm. That's why she's being so nice and talking nicely to us. Right. So I told my sister that, okay, see, what is she carrying? And then she told me that, no, this is something that they carry. There is no bad intention or anything like that. So in that case, what happens? I was not aware of this fact that it's something that they carry. Right, as a like not for self-defense or something, it's just something that they follow. Right, so if take for example, there is a Sikh woman who is carrying this, and because I was not aware of the fact, I am afraid that, okay, fine, this is an assault, and I'm going to the court filing a case. In such cases, court is not going to entertain me, right? Because I was being ignorant. The other person is not having any such bad intention. That person was simply carrying it because they have this practice of carrying it, right? So their intention becomes relevant. Same ways, take for example, there are like two persons, okay, they were simply talking, and one person just does like this, and the other person feels that, okay, he is going to hit me. He was simply like stretching his hand. If the other person feels like, okay, he is going to hurt me or something, then the other person is not having any fault, right? So in such cases, we need to look at intention. It becomes very much needed. Otherwise, a person might simply feel like, okay, he's going to cause me harm, he's going to use force or something. So there are some type of torts where intention becomes relevant, like these ones, right? Where like we can simply be afraid of things which actually do not even exist. So for that, we cannot make someone else liable. Right, their intention becomes very much needed. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Same ways when I talk about false imprisonment, as in, if take for example, there is a park near my house, okay, and there is some shooting going on for a movie or something, and I happened to go there for a walk, and I saw that there is a person trying to kill another person. Like cameras were set up at a different, like at a distance. I did not notice the cameras. I thought this is a real situation going on, and this person is going to kill this person at any moment. What I did is, without listening to anyone or anything, I simply pulled that one person, I dragged him to maybe some room, and I locked him inside the room, and then I called police just to save this other person, because I thought that maybe he can kill the other person. In such a case, if a case is filed against me for false imprisonment, I can give the reasoning that no, I was not having any bad intention. What I did is, I got so scared, I thought this to be a real situation. To save this other person without listening to anyone, I dragged him inside the room and locked him. But I was not having any bad intention. So there also, even though it was false imprisonment, I locked him inside maybe for half an hour, but their intention becomes relevant. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So for example, pointing a gun to another person with the intention to threaten the person is assault and falls under intentional tort. If intentionally I'm pointing a gun just to make the other person afraid, there it is an intentional tort. The person will be held liable for it if intentionally something is done like that.
Okay.
Okay, then we have unintentional tort. In case of unintentional tort, the defendant causes injury to the plaintiff, but without any malified intention. Injury is being caused to the person, but without any malified, as in without any bad intention. Okay, there is no bad intention, but injury is caused.
Okay.
That is what is relevant. Like I said, this accident, right? Accident wherein a person dies or suffers from permanent disablement. Injury is being caused. Might be it was an accident. Maybe the person who got injured, he only was walking very carelessly, talking on the phone or something. But even in such cases, what is it? Loss is being caused and it is unintentional. So intention is not relevant. What is relevant is the person died. The person became permanently disabled. That is relevant. It may be called as an unintended accident. It was not something which we planned, but it is an accident that happened. We also were not expecting it to happen. The person who caused the injury did so without any intention because he or she was not being careful. In case of accident, it might happen that we are not being very careful. Might be we were driving very fast, or maybe we were not noticing that, okay, there is a person who suddenly tries to cross the road. And we were not having that much of control to stop the vehicle right at that moment. Right? It might happen that there is a bit of carelessness from both the parties as well. This is nothing but unintentional tort. Such a person may be termed as negligent or reckless. Whoever is being, like negligent or maybe driving, there is rash driving or riding. In all those cases, it might happen that the person was being a little careless over there. In the event of unintentional tort, we may notice that injury is caused due to omission of duty of care, which a reasonable or prudent man would ought to have considered. If you are driving very fast, it is expected that you are having that much of control in the vehicle that you can stop it at any moment. If you are driving very fast also, you do not have that much of control also. That means you failed in your duty of care, right? You should have been a little more careful, knowing how good do you drive, right? So there comes duty of care. Okay, for example, road accidents under Motor Vehicles Act may be unintentional, but still actionable because loss is being caused. And that's why we have a concept called third-party insurance, right? That it does not matter whether you are buying a life insurance policy for yourself or not, whether you have a fire insurance for your house or not, burglary insurance for your house or not, does not matter. But you should be having mandatorily a third-party insurance if you are driving any vehicle in public. Why? Because there is no assurance as such. Any accident may take place at any moment, whereby some third person may suffer. You were enjoying the comfort of a vehicle, but someone else had to suffer because of you. So there you will be held liable. Does not matter whether it was intentional, unintentional, does not matter. Okay.
So in such cases, if like what we discussed, duty of care and all, no ma'am. If one person comes in wrong way and hit and he himself is injured, then the car guy, the other vehicle, opponent vehicle, has to give him because there is an injury.
Yeah, we will read those things. All those things are there in your Unit 5. Okay, Motor Vehicles Act. There we will.
Okay. Fine.
Is this part clear? Intentional and unintentional?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, but in this intentional tort, no, what I didn't understand is this false imprisonment. Because like, see, the assault is like somebody telling that like I'll like scolding or abusing or I'm gonna hit you, slap you, all that, right? So in that case, so if somebody says that to me, I can through intentional tort I can go to court, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So false imprisonment, why false imprisonment is mentioned here? Because see, as you said, now I'm doing a movie shooting here, and you are not aware of that. You came in between and you logged one person thinking that he's going to stab the other guy. So if I go and complain that she disturbed my work, so that means what happens in that case?
See, intention matters. What was my intention? Why did I lock that person inside the room? Did I do that in order to cause him loss in his work? No. Why did I lock him? To save another person. So there, my intention matters. If I was having bad intention, I would have been made liable for false imprisonment. But because I was simply trying to save another person's life, I will not be held liable there. Okay, same ways that Sikh women carrying the knife, she will not be liable for assault because I was being ignorant there, not knowing about the thing that Okay, so their intention becomes relevant. Same happens for battery. If maybe there is a, like group of 5-6 people and you just felt like stretching your hand, while stretching, if you, like by mistake touch another person, that touching is not battery, because it just happened by mistake, right? So in all these cases, intention becomes necessary. But if you intentionally try to push another person, that becomes battery. Okay, so intention is coming over here.
Okay.
Another thing that we have is mental elements in law of tort. So civil law of obligation, of which tort is a part, like tort is a part of civil wrongs, seeks mainly to compensate the victim of a wrong committed by another person. If some wrong is committed to me, court will try to compensate me for that. That is the main intention of torts. Therefore, the question as to whether the wrongdoer had committed the wrong with guilty mind is not relevant in tort, because tort simply tries to compensate whoever has suffered. Does not matter intentionally, unintentionally. Those things does not matter in most of the cases.
Okay.
The obligation to make reparation for the damage caused by wrongful act arises from fault and not from the intention. So why are you made liable to pay compensation or other relief? Because there was some fault, not because you had a bad intention, court wants to teach you a lesson, court wants to reform you or something. No, those things are not that much there, but it is in order to like repair the loss that a person has suffered. Any invasion of civil rights of a person is in itself a legal wrong. If some right are being given, right, invasion of civil right as in violation of civil right. If a right has been given to you that this is your property, you can simply enjoy this property. If I am infringing that, I'm invading there, I'm entering your property without your permission, that itself is enough to constitute a legal wrong, because your right is being affected. You were not allowed to enjoy your property peacefully. I entered there without your permission or invitation. Okay. Carrying with it liability to repair its necessary and natural consequences, in so far as these are injurious to the person whose right is infringed, whether the motive which promoted it be good, bad, is indifferent. So most of the cases, what happens? For violation of legal right, some compensation will be paid. If some loss or damage is being caused, for that damage also compensation is being paid. So main aim is that whoever's right you have violated, you need to repair that, you need to make that good. Intention in most of the cases does not matter. If you were having a good intention, bad intention, most of the cases it does not matter. Okay. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Then we have motive. Now there's two words, right? Motive and intention. What is the difference? Can you guess?
Motive is someone is making me do, or I'm just guessing, ma'am. I'm not sure.
Okay, so these are mostly relevant in case of crime. Okay, so let me give you an example of a crime. Okay, motive would be like in Hindi movies and all, you would mostly see. Do you understand Hindi?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So do you watch Hindi movies?
Or not so much.
No, not so much. Okay. No. Most of the movies and all this, like series and all, you would see what happens is if a crime is being committed, right? They, before figuring out who might have committed it, they try to see, okay, fine, if there is a murder that has happened, they would try to see that, okay, fine, if this person died, who is going to get some benefit? And based on that, they start doubting those persons. They start interrogating those persons. Have you seen these kind of scene in movies?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? They would do that. So why do they do it? That is nothing but motive. Motive as in your ultimate intention. Take for example, there is a person, he is having some insurance and you are a nominee, and that insurance is maybe of 20 lakhs rupees. Now, what would be your motive? Your motive would be to kill this person so that you get this 20 lakhs rupees. So your motive is what? To get this 20 lakhs. That is like the ultimate intention, what you finally want to do. Why are you even committing the crime? Right? That is your motive. Getting this 20 lakhs is your motive. And what is intention? In order to get that 20 lakhs rupees, you will have to kill this person. Right? So murder is the intention. You want to kill this person. For that, you can use different modes. Okay, that's the difference between intention and motive. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so intention is like the crime that you are doing. Motive is more like, why are you doing the crime? Like that, okay? Now, motive means the ulterior reason for the conduct, like the ultimate or the main purpose. Why are you even killing a person? What is it that you are going to get out of it? That is nothing but motive. It is different from intention, which relates to the wrong act itself, like murder. Murder is a wrong act. It is nothing but your intention, your bad intention. The immediate intention of a person may be to do a wrongful act of publishing some false defamatory statement about another person. Maybe you are writing an article portraying a person very negatively. That might be your intention. The motive of such publication may be that the person so defamed should go through departmental inquiry and be suspended for the same. Maybe you do not like a person who is a government officer. Otherwise, the person is a nice person. He's not doing anything bad. He's simply performing his duties, but somehow you don't like the person. Okay, so what you do is, wrongfully you published an article. Okay, the article is not true, but you still published an article saying that this person has taken bribe from so many people. This person is not performing his job properly and all that stuff. Actually, that is not true. He has not taken any bribes in his life, but you still published it. So publishing that defamatory article is your intention, right? And why are you doing it? Because you don't like the person and you want that there has to be some departmental inquiry, department to do some inquiry to find out if he is taking bribe or not, or maybe he would get expelled from his job also. That is your motive, okay? So motive is not relevant to determine a person's liability in law of torts. Or a wrongful act does not become lawful. A wrongful act does not become lawful merely because the motive was good. Similarly, a lawful act does not become wrongful because of bad motive. So motive is not that much relevant. What is relevant? In case of criminal law, intention is relevant, right? And in case of tort, mostly intention is also not relevant. There are only some torts wherein intention is relevant. Okay, but when motive comes into picture, like I said, in order to for the investigating police officer. If he is not having any proofs or anything, whom will he doubt? Whom will he interrogate? Right? To at least start with the process of investigation, motive might help. That's why police officers would start thinking that, okay, fine, if this person dies, who is going to get benefit? Was this person having any conflict or any like arguments with someone? Was there any person who did not like this person? All these they would try to see, so that they can know whom to doubt, whom to start with the interrogation, right? But motive as such is not relevant to determine liability of a person. In case of criminal law, liability comes from your intention. In case of civil, mostly wrong is done, that's enough. In some cases, intention is relevant, okay?
Okay.
So it says, a wrongful act, as in a bad thing, does not become lawful. If you are doing something wrong, it does not become a rightful thing just because your motive was good. Might be there is a very big bakery, they are having a lot of different cookies, pastries and stuff, and I see that there are many beggars in front of the bakery. Okay, what I felt is, anyways, no one is buying anything from this bakery. What I will do is, I will steal all those cookies, pastries and everything, and I will distribute it amongst these beggars, because they are very hungry. They are kids, they are very hungry. So my motive might be good. I want to feed people who are hungry, who are beggars. No one was going to the bakery shop to buy it. But because my motive was good, that will not make it a rightful act, right? I will be held guilty for theft, right? I have stolen the goods from there. A bad thing does not become good because my motive was good. What is crime is crime. What is wrong is anyways wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Same ways, a lawful act does not become wrongful because of bad motive. Okay. If I'm doing something which is lawful, which law has given me the authority, that does not become bad just because might be I was having some bad intention. What kind of bad intention? We will see that with the help of one example. Okay. So there is this case, okay, which will help us understand the other concept. Have you come across this news where BMC, Bombay Municipal Corporation, will go and, like just demolish some construction building and stuff? Have you come across that news?
Yeah, some actress house, something, no?
Yes, Kangana Ranaut.
Yeah, Kanga.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is what BMC is otherwise authorized. That same case happened here also. Okay, like for example, Kangana Ranaut was somehow against the government that was there in Bombay. So the authorities did not like her. They demolished her house, whatever it is. Similar case, this is also okay. That what is it? Bombay Municipal Corporation is authorized government department, right? If some illegal construction is going on, they have the right, they have the authority to go there straight away, demolish it, right? That is something which is a lawful act, what we are considering here. Lawful act, as in BMC is having the authority to do that. But what did they do? There are so many other illegal constructions that are there in entire jurisdiction that comes under BMC. But why did they only target her house or whatever it was? I think studio or something, I don't know. Whatever it was, why did they only targeted her? It was because they might be did not like her. As in, there is some wrongful, like motive is bad, right? That, okay, you are not supporting our government, so we are also going to teach you a lesson. As in, ultimate motive is bad. They wanted to teach her a lesson. That's why they are not taking action against all the other hundreds of people who have done illegal construction, but they simply targeted her. But just because their motive was bad, can you make them liable? You cannot make them liable, because whatever they are doing, that is a lawful act. They have the authority. There was an illegal construction. They can demolish it. So a lawful act does not become wrongful because of bad motive or malice. Even though your ultimate motive was bad, that does not matter. What is lawful. You cannot make that wrongful. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Same thing happened here also. There was this town area committee. The plaintiff made some illegal construction without complying with the rules, Uttar Pradesh Municipalities Act. They did not follow it. The defendant demolished the construction and plaintiff filed a case saying that this demolition was illegal because they were like maliciously, with a bad intention, getting it demolished. They were like targeting this person. But Allahabad High Court held that demolition of the building which is illegally constructed is perfectly lawful because town area committee is given that authority. So the court did not investigate the question whether the act was done maliciously or not. That is not relevant. What is relevant is whether the act is lawful or not. So motive does not play an important role, but yeah, it is necessary that we understand the difference between intention and motive. But mostly in case of law, intention is very much important. For police officers and all, might be motive would be important, but in court, motive is not given that much of importance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, we have two more concepts: malice in law, malice in fact. Malice as in like a bad intention, bad motive sort of a thing. Okay, so malice in law, malice in fact. Malice in law signifies a wrongful act done intentionally without just cause or excuse. Some wrongful act I am doing because I have a bad intention. Okay, there is no just cause. I cannot justify that. Okay, fine, this was illegal construction. I am being given this authority. I can't justify that. Okay, I have done something wrong. Okay, so for example, in an action for defamation, it may be mentioned that the alleged statement was published falsely and maliciously. Whatever was being published, like I gave you the example that you don't like a certain government officer, knowingly you published a fake article that this person is taking bribe. So what is it? It is published falsely and maliciously with a bad intention. It was being published, which is not true actually. The person was not actually taking bribe. Hence, it simply means that the statement is false and it is also made without lawful justification. There is no justification as such. The person has never taken any bribe from anyone, not even from you. So there is no justification for you to publish it. If it was that he has actually taken bribe, in such a case, you could have given the justification that yes, he has taken it. But if he is not taking, there is no justification as such. So this is nothing but malice in law. You don't have any justification. You have just done something wrong with a bad intention. Okay. Malice in fact or evil malice or actual malice means evil motive for the wrongful act. When the defendant does a wrongful act with a feeling of ill will and the act done is also done maliciously. The act that you are publishing that article because you want the departmental inquiry should be there against this person, he should get expelled from his job, that is nothing but malice in fact. In fact, you are having a bad intention, and because of that, you have published a defamatory article which is false. So in law also it is malice. Whatever you are doing, that is not having a lawful justification. Okay, malice in law as in whatever you are doing, it's not legally justified. Malice in fact as in actually in fact also you were having a bad intention. Is it clear the difference?
Yes, ma'am. Little doubt is there, ma'am. Can you explain this again, ma'am?
Okay. Malice in law as in legally you can't justify. Whatever you have done, it is wrong. And your intention is wrong in terms of law. So you can't say that, okay, fine, I have published this article, but he actually is asking bribe from the public. In such a case, you can justify your act, right? Why you published the article, you can justify it. But if you cannot justify, means it is malice in law. In law, whatever you are doing, it's not lawful. There is no justification in law. In law also, it is wrong. Malice in fact, as in fact, you were having a bad intention. You wanted the person to go through departmental inquiry, probably get suspended, whatever bad can happen, happened that. That is nothing but in fact, you were having a bad intention. that this person should suffer. Malice in law as in legally also whatever you are doing, there is no justification for that. Okay, like you can't defend your act basically. Yes, you have done something wrong, like that kind of a situation. Malice in law and malice in fact. Okay, we have this example also. And then you can give a conclusion that mental element is nothing but we mean a person's intention. Mental element as in what was your intention while doing something. Harm another person by infringing his or her legal rights. Intention means a state of mind, whether the wrongdoer is fully aware of his actions or their consequences. In addition, he has a desire to achieve these consequences. If I want to kill someone, I want that person to die, and for that I can try different modes or different methods. So ultimate consequences I want to achieve anyhow. In criminal law, in order to prove crime, mental element is most of the cases relevant. Here, mental act of the wrongdoer is not enough to hold him liable for an offense. Another requirement is presence of guilty mind. Bad act, bad intention, all this taken together constitutes a crime. But in case of civil wrong, they are mostly not relevant. Yes, there are certain situations wherein they become relevant. Okay, like we have seen here, intentional tort and unintentional tort. So mostly it's unintentional only, like it does not matter, intention does not matter, but just some situations are there where intention may become relevant. Okay, any doubts from this part?
No. As of now, no.
Fine, then you can go through this part. Okay. And
okay.
Hey, before we continue, I wanted to inform you about my live mentorship program for LLB students or law aspirants. Law subjects and law topics need detailed clarity. We get that with the help of cases, examples, and detailed explanation. It's definitely not possible to include everything in these short videos. If you find my videos easy to understand and you are looking for some professional help in preparing for your examination, you can join my live mentorship program. Here you will be getting exam tips, answer writing skills, detailed notes that you can refer for your examination, cases, examples, and in a very easy way topics will be explained. I have live classes going on for a lot of subjects as of now. To know more about it, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. I'm also helping a lot of students in writing their assignments. If you need any such help or for any queries, any suggestions, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. And now let's continue with our video.